American food banned in Europe. Now, I had no idea this is a thing. Well, to be real, I'm not surprised that we have our food banned in Europe. Our food is full of processed, fake things. It's disgusting. There's a lot of things. I go in the grocery store and I read the label of everything I buy because, yeah, I'm trying to be careful of what I put in my body. Here in America, not everything you eat is what it says. At the end of the video, you'll probably see me take my camera and go throw out everything in my pantry because I'm not trying to eat no toxic food. But yeah, if you enjoy videos like this, leave a like on the video so I know to keep making more for you guys. And let's go ahead and jump right into it.
McDonald's operates in 118 countries. In the UK, their burger bun has about a dozen ingredients. But in the US, the same bun has over 25. And up until 2016, one of those ingredients was a dough conditioner.
What is that? You see what I'm talking about? What is our ingredient list? Azodicarbonamide? I can't even pronounce that. That's how you know it's something that's not supposed to go in your body.
That's also used to manufacture yoga mats and shoes.
Ew!
And the CEO of McDonald's just went viral
yoga
recently,
mats?
Eating one of these burgers on camera, calling it the product the entire time. Not the burger.
Oh my gosh, I don't know if you guys watched that video. That video was so funny. Who calls a burger a product?
Not the food, the product. And honestly, that might be the most accurate description of American food right now. Because there are over 3,000 additives approved in the US that are restricted or banned in other developed countries. And every single one of them got there through a regulatory loophole that was created in 1958 and hasn't been meaningfully updated since. So the question isn't whether these companies can make food without these chemicals.
Yeah, welcome to America where we make a loophole for everything. Let's say we make some chicken. We're going to put some glue in your chicken, but to get around putting glue in the chicken, we're going to write a letter to this place and convince them on how the glue is somehow good for you. Yeah, come on, America. Stop it.
They make cleaner versions of the same products for every other country they sell in. The question is why they choose not to do it here. To understand how this works, let's forget about the history for a second and just follow a product. Let's say a food company develops a brand new chemical, never been tested, never been reviewed, and they want it in a box of cereal by next month.
Why would you want that in a box of cereal? Why?
The compound X. Here's what happens. The company would hire a panel of scientists to review the safety data on compound X. Many of these scientists have financial ties to the company paying them. And every single time they reach the same conclusion. Compound X is generally recognized as safe, or GRAS. That GRAS label is so important because it's
Generally? We're not going off a general or maybe with food I'm putting in my body. We need to make sure it's safe. Yeah.
It's basically a golden ticket. Any ingredient that gets classified as GRAS is completely exempt from the FDA's normal approval process.
What?
No safety review, no testing requirements, no waiting period. It skips the entire line.
What we have seen over time is that companies are creating new ingredients, having their own scientists or hiring outside scientists to make their own determinations that an ingredient is safe. And then once they self-declare that their ingredient is safe, they don't have to go through that pre-market process.
The FDA created...
Hey guys, I just thought of a crazy idea. How about we just make the food, natural food? Why do we got to put chemicals and fake ingredients in it?
This designation in 1958. And it was originally meant to cover things like salt, vinegar, and baking soda. Stuff nobody needed to test because humans had been eating it for centuries. But by the 1990s, the FDA had a problem. You see, as food became more and more industrialized, hundreds of companies were submitting applications to try to get that golden ticket for the new ingredients they were using. And the agency didn't have the budget or the staff to review them all. The backlog was so long that it would take years to clear. So in 1997, under pressure from the Clinton administration's push to cut costs and speed up federal agencies, the FDA made a decision that changed everything.
There was an announcement today by the Food and Drug Administration. Bettina Gregory has the story.
Instead of requiring companies to submit their safety data for review, they made the whole process voluntary. That means the company doesn't have to submit its determination to the FDA. It doesn't have to share the safety data. It doesn't even have to tell the FDA that compound.
What? So you're telling me we just had so much papers backlog and so much things we had to review that we just said screw it. We just threw them all away and we said everybody just go crazy. Just put whatever in the food. Hold on, guys. I gotta go check my food in a second. Like,
X exists. It can just start putting it in food and shipping it to stores. Think about that for a second. That's like a student grading their own exam and the teacher saying, you don't even have to show me the test. I'll just take your word for it. And this isn't a hypothetical edge case.
this is silly.
According to a 2022 analysis, companies have used this system to self-approve nearly 99% of new food chemicals since the year 2000. The Pew Research Center estimated in 2013 that roughly 1,000 ingredients had entered the food supply through this pathway without the FDA even knowing about them.
Well, yeah, because you not even have them send anything in or have the food get checked. How does that work in Europe? Do you guys have a system where, obviously you got to have a system where the food gets checked. There's no way you have a system like this where your government just says, we don't care and just throws it out there. Let me know what's going on where you're from.
FDA's own former deputy commissioner for food admitted in 2014 that we simply do not have the information to vouch for the safety of many of these chemicals.
Why are we eating it?
So the system that was designed in 1958 to exempt salt and vinegar from paperwork is now the primary pathway that the entire food industry uses to put new chemicals into your food without any oversight. And this is where you start to see why the same food tastes different depending on which country you buy it in.
Wait, so does McDonald's taste different in Europe? I gotta make a video one day where I'm gonna try McDonald's here in America, and one day when I go to Europe for you guys are gonna see me try. I'm gonna compare it to y'all's McDonald's.
Take a mac and cheese from Kraft, for example. For decades, the US version got its color from something called Yellow 5 and Yellow 6. They are synthetic dyes derived from petroleum. But the UK version used something way healthier. They used paprika extract and beta-carotene, which is an orange pigment naturally found in carrots. Not because Kraft can't make it without the artificial dyes in the UK. It's because in Europe...
So how come in Europe you guys are using natural, actual food, and here in America, I'm eating yellow dye? Save me. Pray for your boy. Pray for your boy, guys.
Yellow 5 and Yellow 6 dyes requires a mandatory warning label that reads, may have an adverse effect on activity and attention in children. Rather than putting a warning on the box, Kraft just formulated for the European market. But in the US, no warning is required, so the artificial version stays on the shelf. Another good example is the popular drink Mountain Dew. It contains...
So you're telling me I could have a disease or ADHD or something that was caused by that, and it's not even on the box letting you know, and it's the reason that it causes it. Are you kidding me?
Contains brominated vegetable oil in America, a pretty bad oil for your heart, but not in Europe or Japan because they're banned in those countries. Bread products across dozens of American brands contain potassium bromate, a dose strengthener banned in Canada, the UK, the EU, China, and Brazil because research linked it to kidney damage and cancer in animal studies. California banned it in 2023, but at the federal level, it's still approved, which means a chemical that most of the developed world considers unsafe is sitting in the bread aisle of grocery stores in 46 out of 50 American states.
And we're eating it.
None of these companies are being forced to use these ingredients. They're making a financial calculation that using cheaper inputs in the American market is worth it because the regulatory system doesn't penalize them for doing so. The US operates on...
And that's why our health is so terrible here. Like, our own government is literally killing us.
An innocent until proven guilty standard, where an ingredient is assumed safe until enough evidence accumulates over years or decades to prove it's harmful. Europe uses the precautionary principle, which flips the logic. If there is uncertainty, a new ingredient doesn't get approved until the manufacturer can scientifically prove it's safe. And America hasn't...
So in America, we wait for like thousands of people to die from it for us to finally realize, yeah, maybe it shouldn't be on the shelf. Oh, we're just eating food that's banned.
Switch to the European model for one
Wow.
straightforward reason. Both sides benefit from keeping it the way it is. For the FDA, reviewing every new additives would take years per ingredient and require a budget that they don't have. For the food companies, it's even simpler. Why spend millions on independent safety testing and wait 2 years for FDA approval when you can pay a fraction of that to certify food safety yourself? Back in 2010, when one company was questioned by the FDA about the safety of an ingredient called theobromine, they simply withdrew their voluntary notification, hired an independent contractor to declare it safe anyway, and kept using it. The FDA had no mechanism to stop them. The agency can't afford to enforce stricter rules, and the industry has no financial reason to follow them. That's how a loophole stays open for almost 7 decades. The GRAS loophole is basically a multi-billion-dollar subsidy for whoever can exploit it most creatively. And the companies exploiting it the best are the ones you've never heard of.
Show me something.
Go to your kitchen right now and pick up the first packaged food you see. Could be a bag of Doritos, a can of Coca-Cola.
Hold on. Yep, you're right. It does say natural flavors on here. Yep. I think I'm done for.
Because in most cases, the formulation behind those 2 words wasn't created by the brand on the front of the box. There are 3 major firms that engineer the flavors in almost everything Americans eat. The food brands hire them, the way a restaurant hires a chef, except these chefs serve 300 million people and nobody knows their name. The biggest is a Swiss company called Givaudan. The second is an American company called IFF, which stands for International Flavors and Fragrances. And the third is another Swiss firm called Firmenich. Together, they control over 55% of a market worth over $40 billion a year. Givaudan alone holds roughly a quarter of the global market and offers over 2,200 different strawberry flavors in its category. Not 22, not 220, over 2,200 variations of a single fruit flavor, each one optimized for a different product and a different consumer base. IFF.
We're optimizing strawberries? How do you optimize a strawberry for a country? Wait, this is way deeper than I ever thought it was. Whoa, this is crazy.
Purchases roughly 8,500 raw materials from 2,300 suppliers worldwide, blending them into proprietary compounds that get licensed to the brands you see on the shelf. And every single one of those formulations is legally classified as a trade secret. So when you read natural flavors on the label, you're looking at a formula that could contain dozens of individual chemical compounds, solvents, and preservatives, none of which have been disclosed because trade secret law overrides ingredient transparency laws in the US. And here's why the secrecy matters so much to them. These formulations aren't just about making food taste good, they're engineered to make you eat more.
What?
Food scientists call it the bliss point, the precise combination of sugar, salt, and fat that triggers the strongest craving response without ever making you feel fully satisfied. It's why you can eat an entire bag of chips without feeling full, the same way you would after a home-cooked meal.
Yeah, I can agree with that one. I've cleared some bags. I'm guilty. That's kind of messed up that you're basically saying they tricked me into clearing the bag though. You're saying they engineered it in a certain way to make me picking up another chip. That's why I can't put the chips down. Yeah, that's just messed up, dude.
Body isn't registering food the same way because the formulation was specifically designed to bypass your satiety signal, the part of your brain that's supposed to tell you, okay, you're full, stop eating. And the bliss point isn't a general target. It's calculated down to the milligram for each individual product. Researchers have found that there is a specific concentration of sugar where the craving response peaks. And if you go even slightly above that concentration, the product starts to taste too sweet, and people would eat less of it. So the flavor company aren't just making food taste good, they're finding the exact mathematical ceiling of how much pleasure your brain can process before it tells you to stop. And then they're parking the formula right below that line. That's why you reach the bottom of the bag and think, I didn't even realize I was still eating. That was the design working as intended. And the reason these companies guard these calculations so aggressively is because
Do they do that in other places, or is that only in America where they're optimizing the food to make you eat more? Are they only doing that to us here? I feel like we're like the monkey in the middle right now. Like, what, bro?
Because getting the bliss point right on a single product can be worth hundreds of millions of dollars in annual sales. Ultra-processed foods built on these formulations now make up nearly 60% of the average American adult's diet. And the number has been climbing up for decades. And studies are now linking high ultra-processed food consumption to increased rates of obesity, type 2 diabetes, cardiovascular disease, and cognitive decline. But the FDA has no regulatory category for ultra-processed. This means the fastest growing segment of the American diet exists in a complete regulatory blind spot. But the good news is that the FDA was directed in 2025 to explore closing the GRAS self-affirmation loophole. But the rulemaking usually takes years, and the food industry will lobby against any changes that increase their costs. And thousands of FDA scientists were fired in April 2025 due to cost-cutting measures. It means the agency now has even fewer resources to enforce the rules that it already has. If you want to protect yourself today, here's something you can do the next time you're at the grocery store.
What?
Before you put something in your cart, flip it over and count ingredients. If the list has more than 5 ingredients you can't pronounce or wouldn't find in home kitchen, just put it back. If natural flavors appear
so when you go to the store, pretty much 99% of the store don't put it in your cart because everything here has natural flavor and 1,000 ingredients. So what do we do?
In the first 5 ingredients, the product is more engineered than you think. And if you really want to know whether what you're buying is safe, check if the same product exists in the European version. If the European label is shorter, you know that the American version contains things that at least one developed countries decided weren't worth the risk. I'm curious to know what you think about ultra-processed food, and let me know your thoughts in the comments.
Yeah, anybody from another country, we might have to link up because I might need a care package because I think I might have to go clear my whole pantry out. This is absolutely terrible and it should be illegal. Now, how do they get away with this in America? I have no idea. You guys have to let me know down in the comments. I'm sure you guys have foods that are bad for you, foods that are filled with random ingredients, but I'm sure it's nothing like how it is here in America, unless I'm wrong. But they're making it seem like here in America, we're just getting scammed and we have absolutely the most terrible foods. Is there any food you see here in America that you have in the European version, but it isn't like the American version? Is there any foods you guys have tried in America that your version is just way better? Or is there any, I don't even know what I'm trying to say right now. This just has my mind confuzzled. I was going to eat some chips after this, and now it's like, I don't even want the chips no more. I got to go inspect my chicken, my beef. I got to go inspect it all. But if you guys enjoyed this video, leave a like down below. It means a lot to me and it shows me to keep going and that you guys enjoyed these series, and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the next video and future videos I post, because I'm going to keep reacting to more videos like this. We're going to just keep discovering the world. So if you have fun discovering the world with me, yeah, just come along for the ride. Drop a comment down below. I read every single one. I try to reply to all the comments. And I love you guys and appreciate you so much for watching. Peace.